Good evening, good morning. We are sharing more TikToks, short videos that you can find them in Aprendamos con GL. Let's learn with GL. Gloria. Gloria. Well, anyway, got excited here. Here you go. Good morning, good evening. Whenever you happen to see this video, the importance of animals in our lives. I just remembered another about a fish tank. Gosh, I'm going to start with that. Had no idea I was going to start with that. I was at somebody's house here in Costa Rica, and I don't know if they still have a fish tank, but they had a fish tank. And the grandmother was carrying her grandchild. I don't remember if I've already recorded it. If I have and you want to listen to it again, great. If I haven't and you want to listen to it, great also. Anyway, I've listened to myself so many times. No. Sometimes I don't listen to myself. But anyway. Granddaughter. And the baby pointed to me, the fish tank. And it's like I understood. And I asked the grandmother of the baby, who died drowning, who drowned. And she said, one of my older's brother on the part of her father. So it was interesting because that information wouldn't have come out if the baby hadn't pointed to me the fish tank. So that's something that I just remembered. That was back in 2007. Dogs. My experience with dogs and family constellations. At that point, I didn't call my work phenomenological family constellations. I just called it family constellations with Gloria. 2004, Mexico City. We were at Claudia's mother's house, Claudia Martinez Parente, and her dog, Lola, started barking. We were inside the house, and there was this young woman outside with the dogs, and I think it was a baby. She was sort of like taking care of the baby. And she walked in a little bit agitated, and she said, Gloria, the dog is barking tremendously. Who died? And at that point, I asked the person who was having her constellation movement done, and I said, who died? And she said, my father, 3 months ago. And we did the movement for saying so long goodbye to her father. But what's important here is that the animals gave me the clue that something was missing or something had to be worked on. Again, that was in 2004. In 2005, I worked with Squirt, and the wind is blowing. I worked with Squirt, with Annie and Toby, and a dog. I don't know the brand of the dog or the pedigree of the dog, but Squirt was. We were in the line of ancestors, and I had the mother and the father and the grandparents and the great-grandparents. And Squirt just sat there in the line. And I asked the woman, who are we missing? Who's not in this line that should be here, taken into consideration? And she said, a grand aunt. She was put in a mental home, and we never saw her again. So the fact that Squirt stood in the line in that particular place he gave me the clue. And that was in Southern California, in Peru, 2007. Oh, we'll continue with another video, next video. Thank you very much. Oh, and now we're starting to talk about Calato. I think it's on the other video. Let me see if I have it. Let's see. Buenos días, tarde. No, this one is in Spanish. Let me see. Another one in Spanish. I believe it's this one. Buenas tardes, noche. Nope, that's also in Spanish. It's got to be this one. Family Constellations, yes. With cats. Oh, wait a minute. Anyway, with Calato, I think I already recorded it. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Calato got on top of a young man. The young man was lying down, face down, and Calato started having sex with him. And of course, and it had to do with him having been abused as a child. Remember, it's not what happens to us that the problem. The problem is that we don't talk about it, or if we do talk about it, we don't receive the guidance that we need. Sometimes that could be a problem. And it's not good or bad, it just happens. And for Mr. Hellinger, everything is a matter of order. That person was the first one in my life that made my body feel different. And that scared me. Or maybe I enjoyed it. So it's not what happens, it's what we do with what happens. So I'll continue with this video. It's already on cats, it's only 3 minutes. So that way we can finish recording the English part. 2007 here in Costa Rica, Mila was the cat's name. She started crying on her left eye. Her left eye started crying. And tears would come out. And it turned out that this young woman, her mother had died recently, and she hadn't mourned for her mother. So the cat gave us the clue that she needed to do mourning and cry for her mother in this case. And that's fascinating. 2009, it was a cat, an outdoor cat. We were at Cuca's house here in Costa Rica. And the cat was crying and crying. And we were working with a young man, and he was talking about how I'm laughing at my cat. She's here, and she's playing, and they're quite, all animals are characters, believe me. They are definitely characters. Anyway, we were doing this movement, and the young man said, okay, I want to consolate my family, and it was his father, him, and the mother. That's the way he said, this is how we are. And the cat was crying and crying and crying. You had no idea how it really devastating is the word I can think of. And I said to the group, do you want to the cat stop crying the way the cat is crying? And they said, yes, of course, Gloria. All I did. What I meant to say was that I asked them if they wanted me to stop the cat from crying. And they said yes.
And
it was move the son in front, and I put the father to the right of the mother. That's all I did. Because initially he was in the middle, and I placed him in the correct place. And the cat stopped crying. It was impressive. It was fascinating, and nobody said anything. It was like, how did this woman know that if she moves the place? Well, the fact was that when we're in the middle of father and mother, our soul cries because that's not our place. Our place is in front of them, looking at them when we're young and looking forward when we are grown up. Thank you very much.
I want to do this so that you can see, because it's in TikTok. Aprendamos con Gloria Dávila. I'm looking for things that I can use here that I have on my here at my desk. And let's see. Okay, here. Well, this is very thick. Can I find something else? Yes, I can find a pen. Good. Okay, here's this is the what happened. He said, "This is my father. This is me, the brown paper, and my mother." And he was in between them. Okay, and the cat was crying and crying and crying. It was heartbreaking. So I asked the group, "Do you want me to do something so the cat stops crying?" And they said, "Yes, please." So all I did was I pushed him forward, and I put the father was over here, and I put the father to the right of the mother, and him in front of them. Okay. Oh, anyway, do you understand the difference? He was in between, and I pushed him forward, and then I closed ranks between father and mother, and he was placed in front of them. And I said, and I'll say, when we're young, we're looking at father and mother. We're looking at them. And when we grow up, we know we have our father left behind my back, left side, and my mother on my right. So we end up like this, father and mother together. And I didn't know I was going to give this example. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. Father and mother always together, even though they're separated, even though they're dead, even though they might have gotten a divorce, or they were never together, just they were together when they had me, when they got pregnant of me. Well, that's it. That's enough. They're together, and I'm in front of them always. Looking at them when I'm a child, when I'm young, looking at them, and facing forward, feeling them behind my back when I am grown up. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, comments, I'll read them in in the comment area, and I will respond as soon as I can. Okay, thank you very, very, very much for your interest. And okay, here we go. I did some. Oh, okay, there we. I untangled my mouse. We have to untangle ourselves many times during the day. Not in our lifetime. Always, sometimes during the day. Okay, Gloria. Here it is. Here it is. Thank you. I can say goodbye now. Until next video. Thank you.